bidii kama simba moto. Ndio baka tukutuku. Kama ulikuwa na garage na sisi yake. Sote tufukuza sisi tukienda tukuache na amani. Ya.
Nini?
Kumbe hiki kitu ni TV tu gaki.
Inakaa hivi wewe si TV labda.
Si unaona waka ile mesa wanasomea taarifa iko hapa ndani.
Take on Tech, a weekly program that brings you technological debates and concepts. Let us assume we have a young innovator who has come up with an app.
Financial technology and financial services is a very complex game.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news both locally and internationally. Apple has lost its position as the most valuable firm amid tech sellers. We also explore different innovations by our very own young innovators. Make sure you don't miss. Tune in every Monday at 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
I was part of the team ilitumwa to take out Burhan. Nilikaa for 5 years, nika study the man. All I ask is you let me right my wrongs and give me an opportunity to bring Burhan down for good. Senior Sergeant Farah, a.k.a.
Stingray.
Opro Ibrahim, a.k.a.
Mongoose.
Opro Katana, a.k.a.
Panther.
PC Kibet, a.k.a.
University.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We do this for honor.
Yeah.
Our loved ones, our family, and our country. 1, 2, 3.
Kama imefika ile ifa kudeliver bidhaa kama kawa kuna maswali.
At KBC Channel 1, we put people at the heart of events with our captivating weekly news features. Every day, we are breaking new grounds with informative, entertaining, and inspiring human interest stories. On Mondays, 9 p.m., we have The Cabinets. Tuesday, 9 p.m., we get inside the barracks for military tales. We delve in the world of cinemas and theater each Wednesday night. For the young and industrious, make a date with us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Fridays are dedicated for my culture. On Saturdays, we go back in time for history in perspective. And on Sundays, we get to know the process of how things are done and made. KBC Channel 1 News features a whole lot of wonderful viewing experience.
Good morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It's the 13th day of March, the year 2023. We shall be having 3 conversations around sport. At the tail end will be personal fitness. We'll be talking about the Defense Pistol Association Championships for Africa, and also on this set, this is not an ordinary chess board. These are not ordinary chess pieces. These are pieces that are used by visually impaired chess players. You can imagine, yes, I know you're asking, chess for the blind? We shall be talking about that, and that's a conversation that we are going to have. But also remember that we've got our team that is out there covering all the news that is happening. We've got committee meetings that are going to be happening in Parliament, and then there is the handover of agricultural aircraft for desert locust control. So this is happening also today. And also remember that also we've got PS Trade and Industry Abu Bakar Hassan, who's addressing the Kenya and Malaysia Business Forum in Westlands. Those are part of the stories that we will be covering today. in our news outlook. So, and as the stories develop all in across the country, we shall be keeping you updated on them. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mwaura. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. Mine is at Mr. Wahome, and the hashtag is Sports Check. Straight into our first sporting conversation. And in studio with me, I have got two gentlemen. One's a coach, the other one's a player. On my immediate left, we have got Wycliffe Nganga. Wycliffe, welcome to KBC Channel 1.
Thank you.
Well, Wycliffe is visually impaired, but on his, just right in front of him, he has got a chessboard and he plays chess. He's visually impaired, plays chess. And his coach is on my extreme left, Harrison Nyaga. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll start with you, Coach, before, and you could tell us about how the Kenyan Chess Federation brought out the aspect of having this sport for visually impaired people like Wycliffe.
I'm Harrison. I'm a chess coach. Chess Kenya Federation started a project for chess for inclusivity, that is in 2019, by the president, Mr. Wanjala, who is open-minded in inclusive sport. So he brought up this kind of chess. Getting it like in Africa is so difficult for us to have players with disability. So he came up with the idea that we need to be inclusive, and it is the most actually inclusive sports we have in the world, inclusive for persons with disability. So it was anchored in the law of the previous constitution that was passed in 2022, that now persons with disability are playing chess not out of the masses of the organizers, but as a right.
Okay, now you mentioned about a braille chess board.
Yes.
Just describe that for me before I come to Wycliffe and he tells us about, and he can actually, help us, see the board so that the differences can be seen.
So the chess set, the braille chess set, it is a bit different from the normal chess set. The black squares are raised with about 3 to 4 inches or 3 to 4 mm. So we have
maybe Wycliffe, you can lift the board and turn it so that they can see. Yes, hold it that way so that at least they can see the differences. Wycliffe has got that board and you can see the difference in the raise.
So therefore, when a person with visual impairment touches through the board, he can recognize the raised squares, which are the black squares, and the lowered squares, which are the white squares. For the pieces, they are of different colors, but for the black one, they have a sharp tip at the top. So when you feel it, if you feel this piece, they look the same, they have the same thing, but at the top, there is the sharpness. So the sharpness is for you are going to recognize that that's a black piece. So when it's just
actually
smooth,
it's true, because I'm looking at this knife. This one has what I would call horns. This other one is
just flat.
It's just flat. It's been pulled.
Yes. So that's how they recognize the board.
Wow, interesting. Now let me come to you, Wycliffe.
Yes.
How did you get into these sports?
My name is Wycliffe Ndiki. I'm a student, second year, University of Nairobi, doing Bachelor of Commerce. I joined chess in the
which area of commerce are you studying?
I've not yet specialized.
Okay, second year.
I'm a second year.
So you want to, where would you like to specialize?
Human resource.
Aha,
yes.
Great.
Okay, I joined chess in the year 2021, December. I was introduced by a coach called Dadson Luamba. I was taken to Chess Kenya, where I met with Coach Harrison, who trains people with disability about the chess. Yes.
Aha. What was the first impression you had about playing this game?
My first impression was I was so interested because I like exploring things, and I found like chess is a very great game that I would explore. So I was so interested first.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that, there is, if I just pick up this board, because at least I know I can tilt it, the pieces won't fall, because there is something about the board. Maybe you could tilt it so that people see, is that there are little holes where you place the pieces inside.
Yes.
So you can see that. And the arrangement of a chessboard is standard. Maybe you could just display to us as, and you know, get the white pieces and the black pieces into their places.
Yes.
And then you will tell us how you identify, you know, the various square, how you identify all of those pieces on the boxes. And I mean on the squares. So please, you could arrange that board for us and tell us each piece as it comes.
So this board has 64 sections. We have black and white sections. The use of these holes is to hold the piece, because when I'm trying to see the move I've made, the reason for this hole is to make sure that I don't knock down the piece.
Yes.
It stays in its position. So we have pieces here. This is a white piece because it's smooth. So this is a pawn. So I will place it on the extreme left on the second row. So we have eight rows, 8 columns.
Yes.
So on the second row, the first column, second row. Then I will take, this is a knight.
How do you identify them, you know, by touch? Because that's the interesting part.
So I was trained. Like when you check here, it's all about feeling. I can't explain.
It's because I know, I can see, so you feel the shape.
Yeah, I feel the shape. That's the first thing. When a coach comes and trains you, that's the first thing you are taught. The feeling of that piece.
Good.
Yes.
All right. So set up the board. I mean, as you tell us, with every piece, take your time with every piece as you do it.
So a knight comes to the first row, second column. Then this is a pawn, white, the white pawn. This is a queen. Yeah, it's a queen, so it will come to the fourth column, the first row. This is a king, a white king.
Just a little bit, because I want some people to say this, because I have these pieces. So let me just pull them out. The king and the queen.
Yes.
Something is interesting about these pieces if you just take a look at them. If I hold them out there, they look the same. But if you just take the feel of it, coach.
Yes.
Because before he continues, are you able, I mean, this, to the ordinary, I mean, ideally it's just that the king is slightly taller than the queen.
Yes, and a bit bolder.
Yes.
But you find for the regular board, the king has a cross.
Yes.
So even you have to be very sensitive when you're training hearing impaired, that and telling them king has a cross, their king don't. So you must be kind of knowing the board. You must have the board first.
So ideally, a queen has a crown.
Yes.
And
the king has
a cross.
But in Braille chess, they are just different sizes. The king is bigger. It's like the king.
Amenona tu kidogo.
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue, Wycliffe.
So we'll continue. The pawn goes there. This is a white bishop. So we have 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, a king and a queen. So this is a rook.
Yes.
A white rook. This is a white knight. It goes here. This is a white pawn here. This is a black one, so we leave it for now. This is a white pawn. This is a black pawn. A white rook.
So the first row is done?
Almost.
Almost done.
Yeah.
One bishop.
Yes.
Yeah, there.
Oh, thanks, coach.
Near
yeah?
you.
So,
near you.
Near.
There, right there, where your left hand is. Okay, that's a black one.
This is a black king.
Just here.
Where?
Adjacent to where the king is, there, where your hand is.
Where you?
Yeah.
You can also arrange the black ones as you do this.
Okay. So let's go to the black ones. That's a black pawn. A black king goes here. Yeah, there. This is a black pawn. A white pawn. A white bishop. A black rook. a black knight, a black queen, a black knight, okay, a white pawn.
Yes.
Yeah, the queen was there. A black pawn, a black bishop, a black pawn, a black bishop, a black pawn, a black pawn, a white pawn, so the white side is full.
The two of them, yeah, 2 pawns.
So the pawn and the pawn. And we don't have one piece, the rook.
Oh, rolled on the floor.
Yes.
Good, thanks.
Now the board is complete.
The board is complete.
Yes.
Very good. Now, well done. Now you've seen him do it. Actually, when you should have seen him doing it just before he came on the set. You do it naturally, it has now become a part of you.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the speed is quite quick. Coach, now, when you start teaching them the moves, the other thing is every row and column has a number on this board. So, when it comes to them, how you play and where you place them, how do you go about this?
The type of board that we have doesn't have the embossed writings about the alphabets and the numbers.
This is locally made?
Yes, but not here.
Not here?
Yeah.
See you up Kenya?
No, no, no.
Okay.
So, therefore, once you start just like practicing, they'll get into you that the A1 square is always a black square, and it is raised, and it is at the first on your left.
Okay.
So that's how you will just identify that. But before you get to that, what we do is actually trying to make you understand how to count by yourself.
Yes.
So it will be a big amount of work, but it will help you to master that chessboard, because that's where the home of pieces is. So that's how we go about it. Everything is not about how we see. You know, for us, regular people, we think like, if I can't see it, I can't visualize it most of the time. So for them is to create that picture from zero, other than what they see. So they can do it. Yeah, once with just experience, you'll be able to know even the name of the square, because you can just count the number of rows, this A, B, C, D, so this a certain square.
Wycliffe,
yes.
Now take us through, you know, your initial days in training and how you were able to identify, you know, the various positions on the board. Each of these squares, 64 of them.
Now, the initial days were a little bit hectic because I had to master, to visualize this board the way it is in my head for me to know how the pieces should move. Now, on this board, we have 8 rows and 8 columns.
Yes.
As I said before, they are called ranks. The rows are called ranks and the columns are called files. So on the extreme right, where we have the white rook, it's called A1. So A1, B1, C1 up to H1. Then from here we have A1, so 1, A1, moving this way A2, A3 up to A8. Now when I know that there are 8 columns and 8 rows, I just have to visualize it for me to learn. Yes, because every blind person learns through touch. Yes.
Well, there you go. Now, it's the time we try to have a little game here, and there's something interesting about this. For Wycliffe to know whatever move you've made, Harrison, is that you must visually say the move that you have made.
Yes.
Now, what you're going to have now is actually a practical display of chess for the blind. Now, gentlemen, which board will you use?
You'll use his because in chess, for the visually impaired, one board serves just one person.
Okay.
Not two, not like the regular one. So I'll just say the move.
Okay.
Then
just pause, because this is interesting. So that means if I was to play against him, I would have to use this.
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are going to crumble in. Everybody is trying to visualize what the position is, because he has to keep on touching the pieces to recognize the position. So you find in our normal chess playing that you have so many rules that you cannot touch a piece if you're not moving with it. Doesn't apply to the visually impaired. So they have to use, so one board serves one person. If we are 30, we need 30 boards, not 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. How do you avoid crafty people? Si unajua kuna watu wanapenda kuchenga.
No. But once you just lift the piece, if you are visually impaired, then you say that you have to move with that piece, as long as that piece can legally move. But touching it, there's no problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's why now it gets interesting. And so, Coach and Wycliffe.
Yes.
Now, let us play a little bit of this chess. As usual, the white pieces go first, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You can.
He's got the white.
Yeah.
So Wycliffe.
Yes.
Let's see a real demonstration of a chess game for the blind.
Okay, so I will start the game. We'll start with the pawn. I will move the pawn from. I will move the pawn e4.
Okay, something interesting, Coach.
Yes.
I have seen that whatever move he makes, you also do it on your board.
Yes.
Interesting. Play.
Otherwise, because I have my own board.
Yes.
And he has his own board, so I have to do it from my end, and he has to do it from his end as well.
All right. Your move now.
Okay. C5.
C5.
C5. So now Wycliffe has to pick C.
Which piece?
The pawn to C5.
Pawn to C5. From
the black side.
From C7 now to C5.
To C5.
Yes.
Okay. You can get the king in place. All right. Wycliffe now.
Yes. Knight F3.
So Harrison also has got to make that similar move, so that if there is somebody has to strike, then they've got to do that.
Yes.
Over to you, Harrison.
Knight C6.
Yes. Knight
C6.
The good thing about the knight is that the move is known.
Yes.
They can only move. I mean, yeah.
L shape.
The L-shape move.
Yes.
There you go. Right. It's Wycliffe. It's your turn.
It's my turn. Bishop. Bishop C4.
Harrison, I can see you're already looking at something to hit. It's a piece you're looking for. You're hunting.
Pawn from G7 to G6.
All right. Just make that
G7.
Pawn.
G6.
Yes, from G7 to G6.
Okay. Maybe could you just be a little bit more audible so that at least.
Oh, pawn from G7 to G6.
Okay. Good. Wycliffe?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's my turn. Pawn C. Yeah, C3.
Bishop G7.
Okay.
Bishop G7.
Bishop G7.
Bishop G7.
The other bishop.
Oh, the other bishop.
Yes. That one to G7.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me just come to that, because you've helped him identify the piece that he was supposed to move.
Yes.
Ideally, you know, it's a visual. There's a format to the way every piece is known. For example, the rook, so long as it has the space,
it can move just straight.
It can move
along
just
the
straight.
files and across the ranks.
Yeah, rank and file.
Yes.
As long as there's the space. The bishop.
The knight.
Sorry, the knight. This is L-shaped.
Yes. The bishop diagonal.
The bishop is diagonal.
Yes.
So something, you've helped him identify which bishop it is. So the real way is, this is A,
yes.
B, C, D, E, F. So am I really supposed to say F?
Bishop from F.
F6.
Yes. Bishop to F6. Because it went
diagonally. Then
yes.
I say to G7.
Yes.
From where it comes, from where it was, to where it goes.
So it depends, because you find that we have other boards that are a bit modern, that they have the alphabets. One can feel the alphabets
in braille.
In braille, they are well embossed. But you can also assume, like if you say bishop to B7, so initially no other bishop can go to B7. So it's normally I can specify, or I cannot. I can fail also to specify which bishop goes to G7.
The other one I want to ask you: do you have boards with audio?
Yes, they are, because technology is evolving. Other countries are venturing into technology in chess and making it more accessible and disability friendly. So we have them like in audio, that once a regular player plays there, then he says the move. I can just listen in a tournament and then just make the move. If I make the move, then I can be told which move went.
Wycliffe.
Yes.
Now getting into competition mode, you know, yes. How do you get to a point where you're telling somebody, hey, check, trying to compete against each other and all of that? What's the competition scene here in Kenya?
I've not gone to many tournaments, but the ones that I've gone to, I've not challenged my fellow visually impaired students. The people who are visually impaired. So I've been playing with people who are sighted. So I can say that the competition it's real. I can say that I've seen the real competition, because I've not played with my fellow visually impaired person. Yes.
What about playing with people who are sighted? What has been the experience?
Sometimes I feel they are better, because they are seeing the board better than me. You know, they're using their sight and I'm feeling. I think if I played with a visually impaired person, it would be better than playing with a sighted one. Because I feel, first of all, I feel intimidated before the game, because I know this person is going to see, as I move my hands over the board, he's going to know the next move I'm trying to make. And me, I will not see whatever he's trying to do.
And actually, that is the interesting part about what you are doing.
Yes.
Is, well, I can visualize the move and see when you move a piece, think of how I'm going to outsmart my opponent. Say, if I'm playing with Harrison here.
Yes.
The question is then, how do you visualize this strategy? Because that's a wonderful part about this game.
Yeah.
How do you visualize the strategy?
How do I visualize the strategy?
Yes. Chess is a game of strategy. It's played by generals and kings.
No, you know, the fact that I know every piece and where it's positioned in my head, I will know the next move to make. So everything is in my head. The strategy is in my head. I just have to visualize it, because now I know every piece here, where it is. Yeah. So I just have to visualize it in my head, then make a move in my head, then do it here on the board.
How is that, brought out to you? Coach, how do you, bring that up? Because that concept, I mean, for me who is sighted, then I will see, you will tell me, you see, if you move this piece here, this is what will happen.
Yes.
But how do you teach them?
Now, how training them is just giving them an opportunity to explore first. They have to get used to the board so that they know it better. They have to know it like inside out. For me, I don't need, for someone who is sighted, doesn't need to know all the board because he trusts in the eyes that I'll just see somebody attacking my piece. But for them, you have to give them opportunity. You set a puzzle, you tell them to take time to visualize every piece where it is and what it is trying to do. So it's all come with practice, like any other sport. You have to practice and you master it. That's how you get better and better. So the position will just be clicking in your head.
Wycliffe.
Yes.
Now, who's on the movie team?
Yes.
Yes. Let's continue.
It's me.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's continue with a little bit of play.
Knight E6.
So, coach, you've got to move to E6. Your move, coach, now. Wycliffe, over to you. Can see you're giving the coach a little bit of a headache.
Then Queen G4.
Okay. Queen G4.
Yeah.
Castle kingside.
You're castling the king, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. As you can see, it's all about knowing the strategy and the moves, and all of these things have been taught. And there's something about chess. For the sighted people, there's the rapids and there is a normal game.
Yes.
I mean the normal competition.
Yes.
Where you make the move and there's a clock.
Yes.
Then how do you work with Wycliffe and company when it comes to that aspect of the competition? Because he will not move because he's got to fill the pieces.
Yes.
So he can't move as fast as I can.
Yeah, for the competition first in Kenya, we have a competition for persons with disability, chess championship. Like for instance, this year, Chess Kenya Federation has set it on 3rd June. And for the competition, they have at least to play maybe a rapid, whereby the time control is at least 30 minutes. So we have to be conscious with that they can't play like the blitz of 10 minutes. So they play longer games, rapids and classical. The long ones, we call them classical.
Which one do you like most? The rapids or classical, Wycliffe?
Classical.
Yeah. Reason?
Because they have time to move the pieces. Yes.
And when it comes to this, the rapids, coach, this is where, because these are technical aspects, what's the scoring? Serious. Once, say, after 10 minutes, it's done.
Sorry?
The scoring for rapids.
Yeah.
Who wins? Because at the moment,
yes,
I know the board isn't done. Nobody has made a call for check or checkmate.
Yes.
How do you handle this?
So for the rapids, you can lose even on time. If you are time lapse, you lose the game on time. You can lose on technicality, like illegal moves. You move the pieces the way they are not supposed to be moved. You are punished. So you can lose the game by that if you have 2 warnings. But in some cases, for classical, they will end up with a checkmate because there's a lot of time. You have to think. So checkmates will be seen on the board, or even a draw. You can agree a draw. You can get a draw by repeating the same moves. Nobody wants to lose the game. So, or you can just agree, like it's a draw, and then you agree. Yes.
Well, Wycliffe.
Yes.
Make a call so that people, I know I've seen that you've picked up the game. You're really enjoying it. Yes. You have mastered it. You have visualized the moves. If I played against you, I would lose. But still, where do you see the opportunities for visually impaired chess players? I'm just looking at this board. If my woodwork teacher hears me say that this board is imported, he will get mad. Are there opportunities for this?
Of course, yes, there are.
Supplying these things.
There are opportunity, but we need. I was trying to think it up because I'm an entrepreneur as well, on how I can get a CNC machine and try to do. It's an automated whereby it can be printed in 3D, and then I just insert the wood. The machine does everything and produces a piece, and just apply the vinyl. But in Africa, we don't have that. And I would also urge like the Ministry of Sport and Culture and the innovation especially, to venture into these things, because it's kind of weird that these would came from Africa, but was processed there. We go and purchase them out abroad. I know in Kenya we can do better, because the board, it's obvious expensive. It's very expensive.
Actually, the pieces are expensive. Just taking a look, making the board is...
The board is easier to make, but now the piece are the most key things, especially for the visually impaired. They have to feel that is a real knight. So you don't craft your knight looking like something else. So, and it isn't done by hand. This is a machine.
This is a machine.
This machine made.
All right. Thank you very much, Harrison Nyaga. Yes. He is a coach for blind chess, and this is their board. By the way, don't ask why the pieces aren't falling. It's because you have to put them inside there, and they've got to fill them. This is what it looks like. They've got this pin here that you've got to, now it holds properly on the board, the black and the white pieces. And also, Wycliffe,
yes,
asante sana for coming. Thank you for displaying your skills.
Yes.
And all the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this. And whenever you have competitions, we will have to come.
We have a competition on that June. We have also Kenya Open. That is on 7th April. Kindly, we invite everyone. All the Department of Sport. And I think they have to also try to think without the box, that sports means just wearing sports shoes and going to the field. We have this game of chess. It needs also to be empowered.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, a conversation about chess for the blind, and you've seen it in action. This is their board. Kama wewe ni hustler, nafasi iko kwako. Thank you very much. Next, we'll be talking about explosions, a sport around explosions, shooting. And we're going to be having one major African championship taking place in Kiambu next month. A lady and a gentleman will be joining us shortly.
Hey, you're here too? If you personally go talk to her about it, she will change her mind. Because all of this happened because you fired her.
She said she's not coming back. So what can I do?
I'm sorry, Liam. I don't want to have anything to do with Immortal, so I have to find a job as soon as possible and have some stable work so my family won't worry.
I'm taking my annual leave. I won't come to the office, but I'll send in my articles. If you need anything, call me anytime.
After the dust settled on rigorous campaigns, Kenyans are waiting for elected leaders to deliver on their pledges.
To have clean, accessible drinking water across the county.
The hustle of everyday Kenyans is encouraged and rewarded.
Operationalizing Kerugoya Level 5 Hospital.
A functioning school feeding program.
But how have the leaders performed so far?
The percentage of AIDS in 2021 were more than those ones in 2022.
We will not politicize security, because if we do so, we endanger the country.
Every week, we bring you an honest assessment of the national and county governments.
One of the best ways of accelerating national development is through collaboration with county governments.
The Scorecard, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Take on Tech, a weekly program that brings you technological debates and concepts. Let us assume we have a young innovator who has come up with an app.
Financial technology and financial services is a very complex game.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news both locally and internationally. Apple has lost its position as the most valuable firm amid tech sellers. We also explore different innovations by our very own young innovators. Make sure you don't miss. Tune in every Monday at 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Hakuna gasi wako naye hapa. Ni kukula mshahara ya bure tu. Mimi manager nafanya gasi ya manager na bucha nioshe vyombo.
Unajua mimi hata mama yangu aliambiwa alisa akili peke yake. Kitu ninaisa mama kaya na sina kitu tisa nini hapa hivi.
Ni nini mbaya na wewe?
Ita ambulance. Ita basi mapoto. Nije paka tukutuku. Kama ulikuwa na garage na sisi yake. Sunge tufukuza sisi tukienda tukuache na amani.
Ni nini?
Kumbe hii kitu ni TV tu gaki.
Inakaa hivi wewe si TV labda.
Si unaona waka ile mesa wanasomea taarifa iko hapa ndani.
I was part of the team ilitumwa ku take out Burhan. Nilikaa for 5 years, nika study the man. All I ask is you let me right my wrongs and give me an opportunity to bring Burhan down for good.
Senior Sergeant Farah, a.k.a. Stingray. Opro Ibrahim, a.k.a. Mongoose. Opro Katana, a.k.a. Panther. PC Kibet, a.k.a. University. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
We do this for honor.
Yeah.
Our loved ones, our family, and our country.
1, 2, 3.
Kama imefika ile ifa kudeliver bidhaa kama kawa kuna maswali.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 13th day of March 2023. And before we get into the next conversation, we've had one about blind chess. Quite interesting and quite inspiring. We'll be moving on to shooting and just one of the different forms of shooting competitions that happen here. Keeping up with what we have got in the news, a visit to Huduma Centers today by the Principal Secretaries for Public Service. We also have got the handover of agricultural aircraft to Desert Locust Control Organization for East Africa. That's happening today. And also Parliament committee meetings going on, keeping up with all of that, plus whatever is happening in the courts and also in the world of sport. Remember, if you need to get in touch with us, our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. And also remember, my handle is at Mr. Wahome. The hashtag is SportsCheck. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mwaura. We now move on to the second conversation. And over the Easter weekend, Kenya will be hosting the International Defense Pistol Association. of Africa Championships. This competition has traditionally been held in South Africa. The South Africans actually tend to dominate this, but Kenyans, they've picked that up and they are competing and they want to get to that level. This is a form of shooting. We're used to what we'd call where you've got a target that's been set and you're static, either you're prone or standing, and you basically shoot at that target. But this is different. There's a lot of movement. And to help us understand about this, on my immediate left, we've got Mahir Mohamed Omar. He's Kenya's youngest master shooter, IDPA. And on my immediate left, we've got Belinda Wahome. She is a sharpshooter. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, Belinda, I won't go so much into details, but just give us a background of this defensive pistol shooting competition as it is, given that everyone knows target shooting. The simple form, kwa pistol, lenga, pap, but this is different.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wahome, for having me here. I am Belinda. I'm a sharpshooter in SSP, stock service pistol. Stock service pistol means your gun the way you bought it, factory made, without changing anything. Yeah, so about IDPA shooting, IDPA means International Defensive Pistol Association. Generally, it simulates daily life scenarios. Yeah, like the way you can handle a scene when you're under attack or in any competition.
Well, normally I would run away. Anyone with a gun is a person with a gun.
No, you're not supposed to run away. You're supposed to stand up and fight, defend yourself and your family or your friends or whoever you are with.
No. So then give us that scenario now, for example, where here you are, here I am.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming my way, trying to, then I've got to make those movements. You can probably even use your phone as a prop, so that at least we can see the practicality of it.
Okay, so let me give a scenario of where you're in a restaurant, having your coffee or your lunch. Yeah, then definitely your gun will be away where you keep it, probably in a holster or in your handbag or wherever. Yeah, so the enemy doesn't warn you that I'm coming, so get ready. So you should always be ready. Whenever you're walking with your gun, just make sure you're ready for anything and alert. That's why most of the times whenever you go to restaurants, you're supposed to sit from a position you're able to see whoever is coming in, and you're also supposed to watch every person's demeanor. You know, when you're a bright person, you're supposed to be able to know, Mahir is up to something. Yeah, so when the enemy strikes, you're not supposed to care about anything. Ati chai itamwagika nini. Just push the table away, draw your gun, and deal.
That sounds like a Western movie. Somewhere without Clint Eastwood, just roll that and they start.
Yeah, just deal with the person, making sure that every other person that's not a bad guy is safe. Yeah, because when you shoot someone who's not an enemy, it becomes a different story. Yeah, so you should only deal with an enemy. Yeah.
All right, Mahir.
Yes, sir.
How do you pick up this sport?
Well, I used to follow my dad. My dad started shooting back then, around 10 years ago. Yeah, let's say 10 years ago. So I used to accompany him to the range. I used to just see how people shoot. Then slowly, I was caught up.
And this is target shooting?
No, this was IDPA.
IDPA.
IDPA then. So I used to always watch from him, learn from him. Also, not only him, but also other top shooters who shoot with him. So I've been learning. I was just watching for a period of like 2 to 3 years, just watching. And then I started taking, we call stats. So I used to take records of all the shooters, the results, compile them and everything. So it started as that.
You're the person who used to keep all the scoring records?
I am the head of statistics, yes. So with that, then later my dad asked me, do you want to try? So I just tried a few shots. Then slowly, just by learning also, just by watching. I just used to watch, and I apply the same on when my turn comes to shoot. So on 2018 is when he asked me, like, are you really up for it? So I took it full force. I hibernated. I left. He used to take me. He used to teach me. My dad is my coach, actually, and he's also a master. Yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't understand, but it's very difficult to please your father.
Yes.
He will tell you. Having your father as a coach, it's tough.
Must be a task.
Yeah, so apart from my dad also, all master shooters, I can say all master shooters in Kenya, I've really learnt a lot from them. All top shooters in Kenya have played a big role in where I am today, but mainly my father, because he's the one who's my coach. So I really thank him a lot. So in 2018, actually my first competition, I shot it by learning, just by watching. I became second last, not last. So I went away, my dad took me. The first competition after he trained me, I became 12th overall.
After how many years? Because you said you went into hibernation.
2 months.
2 months?
Yes, 2 months. So I became 12th out of like 60 people. Then after that, I did a classification. I did a classification in 2019. I became an expert, from unclassified to an expert. So after that, I also went to South Africa, competed as an expert. In 2021, I promised I'll become a master, and I'm a master now. Yeah.
Well, just tell us about this progression. Unclassified.
There's unclassified, there's novice, there's marksman, sharpshooter, expert, master, and then we have distinguished master, which there's none in Africa yet. You're supposed to compete in the United States of America at an IDPA Nationals or IDPA World Championships and beat everyone in your division.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Belinda, just tell us about your progression such that now you're known as a sharpshooter, which means you're above marksman, markswoman.
Okay. Okay, there's no such thing as markswoman.
It's marksman.
It's marksman regardless of the gender. Yeah. So
anyway, start from that where where you start now.
Okay.
Now novice up the ranks to where you are now.
Okay, I started shooting in back in 2016, 2015 actually. Yeah, after we left training, then we posted to G. So you can't have a single person training you, because everyone has their specialities. There can be an instructor, yes, he's a gun instructor, but just as mechanics, utapata there's someone who specializes in wiring, blah blah blah. So you'll find someone who'll teach you the basics, then there's someone who teaches you an advanced level of shooting. So my first classification was a marksman. I never took any break on the novice category. Yeah, from marksman,
you had the advantage of your background.
Yeah, I had the advantage of my background, and then I think I was a bit aggressive when I was starting shooting. So it jump-started me to, it pushed me to a marksman without getting to the novice class. So I competed there, got a few trophies. Of course, I had a bad performance when I was starting. Yeah, but with consistency, not giving up on yourself. Yeah, just promising yourself that when I grow up, I want to shoot like any master shooter you know. Yeah, like let me say I want to shoot like Mahir. So you have to follow in the steps of what he does, the training. Maybe you tag along whenever they're going to the range. Yeah, so just that. So I did marksman category for about a year. Then
if I was to use, for example, a simple, let me just draw this circle.
Yeah.
This paper here.
Yes.
This being the bullseye now. If I was to pick this up as a marksman, where ideally would you hit?
The inner circle.
The innermost.
The innermost.
The innermost.
Yes.
So that means right here, doing the bullseye.
Yes. Yeah.
So novice.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Being a novice doesn't mean your shooting must be bad. You can be, in fact, even in our competitions we do, you find that someone is a novice but performs maybe better than a marksman. Yeah. So being a novice or a marksman doesn't mean you're not supposed to perform better than an expert or a sharpshooter.
Okay, I'll be coming back to you. So Mahir, now let's talk about moving from marksman now to sharpshooter. What's the difference? Because if what we call in Kenya, when we say you're a sharpshooter, it means you're hitting right the middle. Because that's a common one.
Yeah. You see, all of this, we said International Defensive Pistol Association, these are based on real life scenarios. So what is picked actually, you can shoot as good and hit the perfect bullseye. But what's overall is your time, the time that you took to shoot that specific stage or string. We call it string. Your time is added to that score. So you can take all the time that you want, but and shoot the innermost target, the innermost hole, I can say, according to that scenario. But you'll have taken a lot of time. So let's say you took 50 seconds, so you have 50. But a sharpshooter, or a master, will have 3 shots out, or maybe 2 shots out, at 15 seconds. So 15 plus 3 is 18. The difference is 32. Wow. That's the difference. So obviously you need to shoot as accurate as possible, and with the short least time, the most efficient way. So that's where the math adds up.
Okay. So let me come back to you, Belinda, now, because this is all about movement, just like the pictures that we are seeing on our screen. Maybe Frank, you could play them so that people, you can play them now as is happening here.
Yes.
I know that's that's PCC, the cup.
Yes.
Yeah,
the carbine.
PCC.
PCC.
Pistol carbine.
Yeah, the pistol carbine.
Yeah.
Yeah, in between a pistol and the larger rifles.
Yeah.
So the whole idea here, we can see that there's something being held and a lot of quick movement.
Yes.
Just describe that, because that's the competition you're headed for.
Okay,
for the PCC.
So just to explain, what I'm seeing there is a stage. That's a competition in Kirigiti range. So when you're doing your competition, the first thing you're supposed to consider, the way Mahir mentioned, you must ensure the safety, your own safety as a shooter, and the safety of the other range users. That's why in the videos you're watching, whether someone is moving to the left or right, front or backward, their muzzle is forward, downrange. That's what I mean. Yeah, so other than checking your safety, your gun should not point over the bum. Over the bum means a bit higher. It should be parallel to the ground. And not pointing your feet or any part of your body. Whether you're doing a reload, your firing finger, if you're watching the fingers of those shooters, firing finger is clearly and obviously outside the trigger guard, so that in case of a fall or any tripping, you don't discharge. Yeah. So you should also ensure you're getting your shots correctly and at a good speed. That's why you see everyone is chasing time. So if you want to shoot slowly, the bill is on you. Your time ndio inaenda. Yeah, so you should take the least time possible to shoot a stage and to get your shots in target.
Mahir, 2 competitions, and this is what I want to take a look at. The pistol carbine. We've seen the larger gun. It's basically about the length of my arm.
Yes.
If What's different with that and an ordinary pistol when it comes to this competition?
Okay, most of the times you see you're more stable with a longer barrel. You're more in control. So the recoil management is very minimal, as you can see from the videos. But the pistol, the recoil is very high. So you're it's easier for you to lose your shots on the pistol rather than the pistol caliber carbine. And all these are coming to different divisions. So when I talk about master, when I talk about expert sharpshooter, there's this pistol caliber carbine, there's stock service pistol. So in even pistol, there are different divisions. So there's pistol caliber carbine, which is the carbine, and then we have the stock service pistol, which Madam Belinda shoots in, and then we have enhanced service pistol. This is where now the pistol is bought from the manufacturer, and then you do some modifications so that maybe your trigger pull is lighter, your grip, you adjust you adjust to your wanting, to your liking. So that's why it's called enhanced service pistol.
Kwa hivyo sisi watu wa fat fingers.
You might get a stock service pistol that suits your hand. So after enhanced service pistol, we have the compact carry pistol, which I'm a master in. Compact carry pistol.
Okay, describe that.
Yes.
In simple English.
Compact carry pistol.
Yes. What's that?
So this is compact. See, it's not long. Enhanced service pistol and stock service pistol have longer barrel lengths. This compact carry pistol, they're mainly what you use for carry. What you carry most of the time. So the barrel length is always shorter, which means there are disadvantages. So you cannot compare someone who's using an enhanced service pistol to a compact carry pistol or a stock service pistol.
The enhanced pistol is basically more Kenyan.
Exactly. But now not really more Kenyan. It also depends on the shooter. I can give the enhanced, which has every mode that you can think of, and I give it to a novice shooter. He will not shoot it as the expert shooter, right? That's why we all have this different divisions.
So ideally it's like giving me a rally car.
Exactly. Yes.
Still won't perform with it.
Yes. So the compact carry, we have the backup gun. These are very shorter with minimum amount of rounds in the item. We have custom defensive pistol, which are bigger calibers. We have the carry optics. These ones have the red dot, the optic on the item. So when we talk about master, we talk about sharpshooter. These are classes that are in the division. So people tend to feel like there's a top master shooter or top. There are top masters and there are top sharpshooters in their particular divisions. Yes.
Now, let me come to this because the National Gun Owners Association of Kenya always talk about safety, especially for those who are people who own firearms. We've seen people anywhere they go where unajua niko na hii kitu ndakulete. We've had people have been shot. What are simple rules about gun safety?
Okay, the first thing about gun safety, you should always treat every weapon as if loaded. Whether it's me using my gun, then I placed it on the table, then someone comes and finds it on the table, which I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to leave it unattended. Yeah, but just in case, when Mahir comes across this gun, he should not assume that, see, I can see the slide is back and chamber is empty. No, when you come across such a gun, treat it as loaded. Pick it up safely and make sure it's safe, and then keep it somewhere in a holster or in a bag or somewhere just closed. The second thing with the guns, your firing finger must be visibly and clearly, obviously outside the trigger guard at all times until your sights are on target. Let's say in a competition or the scenario I was explaining, you should never place that trigger finger, your index finger, into the trigger guard or on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Yes. So the reason why I say that, whenever your sights are not on target, but the finger is already in case of anything, you can discharge. You can easily discharge, because the first thing people do when they trip or when they fall, they tend to kunja their fingers. Yeah. So when you do this, it's most likely you'll get a discharge, and there are always no sorries. Whenever a discharge occurs that you shot at Wahome, they say, hey, Wahome, I didn't intend to shoot you. Here, you'll have to deal with it. Rule number 3, Maria, help me.
Never point at anything you do not wish to destroy.
Yes, yeah, your muzzle should never cover anything that you don't intend to destroy. Anything you don't intend to destroy, that means when I'm shooting at this target or when I'm shooting at that lady, I should never point at anything else other than her. Yeah, you understand? The last thing,
know your target and what's beyond and before it.
that's the boundaries. Your target and what's within it. So like behind and sideways and in front.
Okay, explain that, Mahir, because you've said it, everything around the target. So here I am. I mean, even just taking a look at your targets. So here, this is my target. I need to know what's here, 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 here.
Yeah.
What if I can't see behind?
Well, in most scenarios, you can see behind, because there are scenarios whereby you find an armed thug is holding a civilian hostage, so they can be side by side. What we mean by know your target and what's beyond it is you're not meant, you as a shooter, you're not meant to shoot a civilian.
An
so you need
innocent
to
person,
that's an innocent person. So you can be in a scenario in a restaurant, and this takes a civilian hostage, or maybe one of the waitresses hostage. What you do, know your target, know where he is. You as a shooter, you should know what you need to do for that person, so that you can shoot that person, not the civilian. So in a scenario whereby you have a civilian, an armed thug here, and a civilian here, I as a shooter should know what to do to hit this person. So I move on the side and hit him, right? That's what we mean by know your target, what's beyond and what's before. And in these scenarios when we're shooting, you are penalized if you hit that civilian target. From the videos you could see the others are brown,
yes,
and the one is white. The white one is treated as a civilian. Yeah.
Bring that out, because we will have that video played back again, because at each point we're seeing two.
Yes.
Belinda, take us through that.
Yeah. What Mahir says simply is you can have this as a target. This is the threat.
Yes.
Then maybe in front of it or slightly behind it, there's a non-threat. It first.
All right, Mahir, let the clips roll now. Okay.
So what I'm saying
that's the white thing.
Yeah, the white thing, for example. So you as a shooter, or you as someone holding your gun,
yes,
you're supposed to adapt a suitable position and angles that ensures you don't hit the non-threat. So it means either if you find it necessary to kneel or to squat or even go prone, it depends. Scenarios are different. So at all times, you should never put any shot on the non-threat. Yeah.
What's the penalty for hitting a non-threat? Because I can already see the non-threat has been hit severally.
Well, I can say you have eagle eyes.
5 seconds added to your time.
It's 5 second penalty.
Added to your time.
All right, now, getting yourselves ready for these African Championships? And for Ngao, Kenya, what's the whole thing? Because South Africa are the people who do this thing quite a lot. Just give us, the whole setup and how you're getting ready for the Easter weekend.
So, well, I can say we are privileged as Kenyans. We have this competition again in Kenya. We had it in 2021. We're having it again in 2023. All I can say is this time we were more than ready. Now that the IDP Africa Championships is under now the Ngao Kenya Defensive Pistol Federation and the Ministry of Sports coming in, it's really, really, really a huge thing to us. The support means everything to us, and this time we can say it's different. We are going to give them a championship that they've never seen before. This time is different than previously. What I can say, what I mean by different is we now have the support of the government. We have the support of the Ministry of Sports. So this really means a lot to us shooters and as Ngao Kenya members. Yeah.
The numbers that you intend to have, maybe you could give me information around that. I mean, from men's and women's side.
Okay, we're expecting to have at least 200 shooters who are supposed to shoot for around 6 days. Yeah, in 6 days everyone should have shot their competition. So in the 6 days, safety officers are doing a pre-shoot, which will take, I think, a total of 2 days, so that we can be able to run the rest of the shooters. Yeah, safety officers play a bigger role in such a match because it's a big match. It's an international. It's a level 3. Yeah, so it needs professionalism, and we should give it our best.
What's the key role of a safety officer? Because you've mentioned that at these competitions.
Okay, safety officers in this case, the primary role of a safety officer is to ensure the safety of the shooter. Yeah, you should ensure the shooter is handling their gun correctly and not putting their lives or any other shooters around in danger.
So, kama wale tunaona kwa any time behind, what's the function of that device?
That is a timer, and the person who holds the timer is the primary safety officer. So, when in such a video, your hands are always relaxed at sides, and then the timer buzzes. So when it buzzes is when now that's what counts. It counts the shots. So the more shots you take, the more you continue shooting, the more you turn, the time goes. So that's what counts the time. That's what picks the time of the shooter. Then now
it also picks the sound every shot.
Exactly. It
records that.
Yes. Yeah. So it records your first shot. Let's say now you're training. You're doing your training. That's out of the competition. So you take your splits. You're able to take your splits. What's the time that it took you from this shot to this shot? Your first shot to the second shot. Your transition from this target to this target. You're able to pick this time and you're able to work on them. So ideally, the primary safety officer runs the timer. When he finishes running the timer, he makes sure that the range is clear. When it's clear, now you move forward and score the target.
All right, thank you very much. Easter weekend, the 15th edition of the International Defensive Pistol Association, the African Championships. They will be taking place at the Kirigiti Range in Kiambu County, and the African nations will be here. And 6-time African champion Ian van der Bank is coming, huh?
Yes.
And you said you want to show him dust. That's a local language.
Exactly. This time around, we want to show him dust. And actually, shooters from Estonia, shooters from Russia, shooters from USA are going to be with us.
Oh.
Yes.
Very interesting. Easter weekend is Mahir Mohamed Omar atatuonyesha umahiri wake hiyo weekend ya Easter kulenga shabaha. And we've got Belinda Momo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us.
Okay.
And all the best.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you over the Easter weekend.
Okay.
See you soon, Mr. Wahome.
We'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, let's talk about personal fitness as we continue with our final interview on this morning's edition of Sports Check.
Hey, you're here too? If you personally go talk to her about it, she will change her mind. Because all of this happened because you fired her.
She said she's not coming back. So what can I do?
I'm sorry, Liam. I don't want to have anything to do with Immortal, so I have to find a job as soon as possible and have some stable work so my family won't worry.
I'm taking my annual leave. I won't come to the office, but I'll send in my articles. If you need anything, call me anytime.
And you know what this right here is?
Grapevine, baby.
The event that brought together top designers from the fashion industry was a show for student designers from Delight Fashion School who had the platform to showcase their own designs. The music industry suffered yet another blow as Costa unfortunately passed on Saturday 11th while on stage at the Ultra Music Festival in Johannesburg.
Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, young taller. I don't foster. Coulda go. When we are, so teach can't figure out my pantula. Coulda go. Shy my stars in, I'll figure my pose in. Costa with Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson, I put Drake. Is Inja, I put my Porisa.
Hey, listen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Engine.
How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe? Let's go. It's technology. Let's go. Science, you and me. Let's go. We're learning every day.
Let's ask, let's learn, and let's love.
And don't forget to make it fun.
Take on Tech, a weekly program that brings you technological debates and concepts. Let us assume we have a young innovator who has come up with an app.
Financial technology and financial services is a very complex game.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news both locally and internationally. Apple has lost its position as the most valuable firm amid tech sellers. We also explore different innovations by our very own young innovators. Make sure you don't miss. Tune in every Monday at 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. My name is Daniel Wahome. Conversations around sport is what we are having. And also keeping up with what's happening in the news, out there in the news. So today, committee meetings happening at Parliament buildings. And also there is a handover of agricultural aircraft to the Desert Locust Control Organization for for East Africa. Plus also visit to Huduma Center's inspection of where services to the public are offered. So our team is out in the courts and wherever they are in Mombasa, in Kisumu, and they will be giving you all the reports as they come. So the final conversation that we're going to have this morning in the world of sport is all about personal fitness. There could be different reasons for you to get into training. Do you want to bulk up? That's one of the reasons why some train. There are others who actually want to stay in just fit. Make sure that they can go through everything around them. And there are those who will get into it to lose weight. But what's it all about personal fitness? Let's speak to one trainer, Prince Araraki. Prince.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's start with this. When it comes to personal fitness,
Yes.
There are people who do it differently.
Yes.
There are those who run. There are those who hit the gym.
Exactly.
Maybe you could just tell us the two key differences with those. Oh yeah, and there are those who will walk for even 40 kilometers.
Exactly. Bulk, there's just the others they want to just maintain. So for the walking or just running for even 40 kilometers, that's what we call it's low intensity cardio. So with low intensity cardio, it will give you people like Kipchoge. Yeah, most of them are very lean. And the other one, they just want to maybe to do a very short and intense, it's HIIT, high intensive. So that's the difference between, like I see a person like Usain Bolt and Kipchoge. If you look at their body structure, it's totally different. So high intensive cardio, it builds more muscle, it burns more fat. Low intensity but long timer cardio, it burns like everything. It causes the body to go even under catabolism, muscle catabolism, whereby the body starts eating itself. Exactly. You even lose the muscle and you lose the fat. Exactly. That's why they're very lean. Exactly.
No, but those guys, I mean, if you just take a look at them, I mean, I've shaken their hands. These guys are not weak.
Exactly. They're not weak, they're strong. But they're hardened because they are well hardened. Kama watu wa mjengo. So unaona ni tofauti sana. Na watu wanaenda gym. These are two different people, two different scenarios. So as long as you know what you want, please go for it. Exactly.
So for example, say I weigh 95 kgs.
Yes,
I want to lose 23 kgs. I only have two options. Starve myself or go through a regime. Just tell me that regime for me to drop that 23 kilos.
Exactly. Let's start this way. Let's start with the diet plan. A proper diet plan. For women, you need to go under... For women, you need to go to operate between 1,200 to 1,500 calories. For men, it's 1,200 to 1,500 calories. So you need to go under...
Those numbers are the same.
No.
12 to 15. For women,
18. For women, it's 12 to 15. For men, it's 12 to 1,800.
Okay.
Exactly. So... Mostly it involves just one muscle, like working on your bicep, working on your tricep, working on your shoulders. Doing your chest press, that's a compound workout. Majorly big muscles, they are worked on compound workouts. The more you work on them, the more calories you're able to burn. For instance, 1 kg of fat is equals to 7,500 calories.
1 kg
1 kg of fat, yeah, is equals to 7,500 calories. So if you want to drop 1 kg in 1 week, you need to burn like 1,500 calories daily. So it means if you usually take your normal, like right now normally, you usually consume, let's say 2,000 to 3,000 calories normally. But if you cut down to around 1,500, you have already burned
800.
Exactly.
Now, this is where it now gets interesting, because people will go on this regime. And actually, how do you get into this regime without, number one, causing physical damage to your body? If you're weighing 95 and you want to go down to 72, there is a process. It won't happen.
It's not overnight.
It's not.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a syringe that's working on this. How do you get down to this?
First, I prefer to put it in my client's mind. Let's make it a lifestyle. It's not an event whereby you just come achieve what you want to live. Because at the end of the day, even if you achieve, either you went for liposuction or you came to the gym and got your results. At the end of the day, it's a lifestyle you're looking for. Because in the next 1 year, you'll be fat or you'll be slim. So as long as you keep eating, your body will change. So the best thing, I want you to inculcate the habit of training of a healthy lifestyle. That's working out and eating right. Eating right does not mean that you eat clean every time. You can still have your meals, like your pizza, you can still have your burger, you can still have your cake, you still have your ice cream. But at a portion, it's all about portion. Yeah. Don't starve yourself, don't cut them. You're not supposed to cut them. But the best way to do that is to just know who you are and what you want and how your body works. Exactly.
And so there, you've started, I mean, that's from the side when it comes now to those who actually want to
achieve their results.
Achieve their results.
So gradually, let it be gradual. You should not rush into it.
Okay, now I want to do something. Think of this. A regime where you can actually, things that you can actually do at home.
At home.
If you want to shed that excess weight. So that, one, when you lose that weight, your blood pressure naturally comes down.
It's true, it's true.
You're able to, you feel a little bit more energized.
Yeah. Back to the same thing, your diet.
First is the diet.
Diet.
What about the exercises? Zile tizi unachapa.
Wacha kwanza nibaki na diet kidogo tu. Cause hata ukipiga tizi kwa usiku mzima, no eat vibaya itakuwa. Exactly. So let's start this way. If you take sugar, cut or reduce. That's number one. Number two, cut your portions. Ugali size yako, just your normal percentage. Just eat your ugali, no problem. Your normal percentage of the plate, just half it. That's it. As simple as that. Whatever you take, ikwe githeri, ikwe ugali, whatever you take, managu, whatever you take, plate, half it.
No, I'm not having managu.
Sawa. Just half it. So number two, workouts. The most important. Anza na squats. Kuna vitu kama squats, kuna kama burpees, combined strength training, resistance training, and cardio. That will give you results. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to have equipment. As long as you have a small space at home, you can work out from there.
The right way to do a squat, because a squat somehow you will definitely involve your joints.
Exactly.
And for anybody who's lost their fitness trying to get them, the knees get hot.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I usually suggest, start by sitting. Get a chair where you can sit comfortably. So you just sit and stand. Sit and stand. You build from that. Once you get that, your quads will be strong, so you can stand even on your own and do a proper squat. Your chest should be up, your back should be well aligned. Exactly.
Very interesting. That's, this exercise, everyday exercises are very easy. There is one I saw somewhere, a demonstration, where you put your arms, say,
here, back,
on your bed, stretch your legs out, and then
that's dips. It's called. Let's say there's a bar here and there's another bar here. So you hold it and do this you do dips from there, you're working on your lower chest and you're working also on your triceps. So when it comes to working out, angling matters a lot. It can change everything. Exactly.
So ideally, if you're doing press-ups,
your butt should be down.
Yeah?
Your butt should be slightly down. Exactly. This way.
This way.
Exactly. Exactly.
So ile tumezoea
mnakaa hivi, so unapata butt iko juu. So most of the people, they tend to have this, their butt is down, it is down. So it should be slightly this way. Exactly.
So that way you're able to do it correctly.
Thank you.
Those are some of the simple ones.
Yeah.
Now, some other things about when it comes to training is flexibility.
Very important.
How do you get this going?
Flexibility usually changes with as you age. So the best thing, you need to work on your mobility. Working on mobility, it involves different things. That's sitting and stretching. That's mobility workout. So the moment you finish working out, it's very important to stretch. Actually, it's one of the requirements. When you finish working out, stretch. It will improve your mobility and range of motion. Otherwise, your body will remain intact. It will be so tight, even to walk, and it will restrain you, even the normal functional movement. It will restrain you from that.
You know, people go to the gym and suddenly they feel like...
Yeah, exactly. Chest up,
chest out.
Exactly.
But you can't actually move. So
exactly. That's why I prefer...
You're stiff.
Exactly. You become very stiff. So the most important thing is work on your mobility. It's very important, mobility. If you work on your mobility, you increase your range of motion, and muscles will be able to grow and they become flexible. Your muscles are like a bladder. Unajua bladder ya kuvuta, a rubber band. Exactly. Bladder ikikaa ile ikiwa cold, it's easy to tear. Ukihit bladder, you can stretch even longer. Exactly. So mobility inapatia pia hiyo na importance of also warming up before a workout.
Actually, let's talk about that. Warming up.
Exactly.
What's the way to do it? Because depending, I remember in high school, there was this coach who, for warming up, make you sprint. Go do some.
Exactly.
You're not actually warming up.
It's a workout in its own.
It's down to business.
Working out, before you work out, it's important you work out. You warm up. It depends with each muscle you're working on, you're targeting. Most of the people, they prefer coming, go to the treadmill, then they just start. But I prefer, I've been in this industry right now clocking 8 years plus, over 8 years. So what I suggest is, if you're doing squats, mostly warm up on the legs. Exactly. Then you can do some other stretches that will involve the whole body and keep your heart racing first. Like jump squats, that will help. There's some mobility movement you can start, stretching the pelvic area, so to allow that movement. Otherwise, it will not be able to go down fully. You're supposed to. So the best thing, work on that muscle. You're working on your chest, warm up that muscle. Exactly. The other mistake I see at the gym, most people prefer to start with cardio, but it's essential. You warm up properly, then you are supposed to finish with cardio, not start with cardio, especially if you want to build muscle. And the secret of longevity is not the amount of cardio you do, but the amount of muscle mass you have. I want to emphasize that.
Well, looks like I have to bulk up and start looking like him. Another part of this, when it comes, spoken about that, the flexibility, it's balance.
It's true.
You know, it's the joke was that if you use the paint can full of concrete and you try to do it, it's not evenly balanced.
Exactly.
So what happens is the left side,
one side is 10 kg, the other side is 15.
The other side is even 12.
Yeah.
And so eventually it doesn't work out. But let's talk about balance and the importance of it.
It narrows down to one thing, your stability. And your stability, it's brought upon by your core strength. If you work on your core strength, actually your stability will come. And most of the people that focuses on that, your balance and stability. Athletes, there's a difference. A workout athlete and maybe a gym goer or a bodybuilder. For athletes, for them it's movement. Like let's say footballers, jumping. If you jump, come down, they already stand. So they need to work on that movement. So their workout is mostly movement. But for a gym goer, let's say you and me or any other bodybuilder out there, their main function or main thing or main purpose, it's muscle, building that muscle.
Yeah, because I want to talk this because even as you build the muscle,
exactly,
eventually you need some balance.
Exactly. So the most important thing, try to work on your core. Try to work on your core and those mobility movement.
Okay,
exactly. Core is the midsection area.
Yes.
Exactly. If you are strong here, other things will just follow suit.
Wow.
Exactly.
So that means, okay, I have a six-pack. It's only that it's not organized.
It's just inside there.
It's a one-pack. So ideally, this is what you need to get right first.
Exactly. So if you work on this, your stability will automatically come.
What's the right way to work on this? Because there are those who do rollers, there are those who do sit-ups.
Exactly.
Which is the right one?
There are several ways you can achieve that goals. But one of the simplest and the easiest is plank. Doing a plank. There are several kinds of plank. There's this normal plank, there's high plank, there's one leg plank, there's different kind of planks. But plank is one of the best you can do. And number 2, crunches, just crunches. Just crunches is okay. Actually,
when you talk about planks, this is something that I've tried. I mean, a plank.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your record for a plank? Because it means you're on the floor.
Yes. On the floor, holding.
Right this.
Yes.
And you're actually in a press-up position.
Exactly.
And you're holding that.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, this place just gets hot.
Exactly. You're engaging your core muscles, actually to strengthen you. And the good thing with plank, not just working on your core, working on your shoulders and working on your legs to your quads too.
Okay. What's the frequency? Because eventually you've got to build that kind of power.
It's something resistance. It's something that you can build on. I prefer, if you've never tried, maybe you can start with 20 seconds, 30 seconds as you build. So your main challenge should be, you should not be where you were last time. If yesterday you did 20 seconds, next time you're doing it, even if it's tomorrow, try at least 30 or 25 seconds. So keep on adding time. Keep on adding time. That's how you'll strengthen the core.
Another part, about the entire thing that comes with this is, especially for recreational runners, the people who will be at every half marathon. They're not going to run for the prize money, but they're doing it for them, is speed and endurance.
Exactly.
How do you develop this?
Consistency. Actually, most of my clients, they were ladies, majority of them, went to the marathon that was a month ago, I think so. It was a month ago.
There was one in TZ Kili.
And actually not the competition here in Nairobi. There's another one here. I usually advise them to go. Actually, to challenge them. Number 2, it is something to see, to gauge yourself. They can gauge themselves. Exactly. It's very important. You may not go there for the prize money. You just want to go there and challenge yourself, gauge yourself. What I've been doing in the gym, can I see it? Can I reflect it? Or how will it feel? Exactly.
When it comes to because let me just talk about endurance.
Yeah.
What's the right way to build it?
Endurance.
Because there are those, I know there are people who, if they don't run in the morning, they catch 2 colds.
The best way to increase your endurance, it's working on the list. I prefer you do long time cardio, like even 1 or 2 hours. That's how when you can increase your lung capacity. Number 2, I prefer you can also boost your hemoglobin. Meaning you take iron, lots of iron. That's when your red blood cells will be multiplied. You'll be able to take in more oxygen. Exactly. With that, you'll be able to run even for longer. So the best thing, just try to be patient with yourself and work on your kilometers. Let's say for 1 week, you can do maybe a normal person who doesn't work, who has a normal work. If you can do like 20 kilometers a week, it's fine. Like 5 every day, you're good.
So don't go blowing yourself out doing a half marathon, doing 20 Ks.
If you can manage well and good, yeah.
Now, let me talk about speed now.
Yeah.
And
speed is key.
This is not just for competition, not for you to be another Omanyala,
yeah,
but also, you know, things that would help you.
Exactly.
If, say, find a ditch.
Yeah.
And you have
exactly.
you've got your flexibility, but you're able to move quick.
Exactly. It's all about speed. I'll put it in two categories. The speed for you to achieve your body goals, and the speed to boost your daily functions. And thus it narrows down to reflexes. How is your reflex? Exactly. Maybe there's a punt throw, you can move a bit, something like that. So it narrows down to reflex. When it comes to building your muscle...
Let's start with the first one. Just talk about them separately.
Okay.
Start fast. When it comes to speed, about reflexes.
Exactly.
Talk about, simply talk about how you do that.
Oh, reflexes.
Because I've seen, I mean, at times...
It's training. It's all about training. You can't just wake up one day and improve your reflexes. Same as shooting. You need to go to the range, shoot it. So the amount of seconds you remove your gun and shoot, it matters a lot. Same to, let's say, your reflexes.
Yes, boxing.
Okay, boxing. Like when it comes to boxing, you can do some tennis ball. A trainer can hold a tennis ball and you are just there. So it doesn't tell you which hand you release the tennis ball. So it's up to you to catch the tennis ball and return it, then wait for the other one. So so this position, hold two tennis ball, so you're just there, guarding. So when he releases, you have to go down and catch. So it increases your speed. And the other things like a reflex when you're punching, so you need to know how to move or something of the sort. So it's all about training, nothing else.
And what about when it comes to normal motion? Speed when it comes to normal motion.
Speed to normal motion, it narrows down to one thing. How alert are you? How aware are you? Because if you see it coming, if you see it, if you are present, if you're alert, you'll know how to react.
That is very interesting. The most important thing at the end of the day, you say that the long term you've got to bulk up, but it is about power.
I'm talking about building muscle. You can be lean, but you have enough muscle. Your muscle mass, it's higher compared to your fat muscle.
Basically, yes.
Exactly. You can be lean as possible, but the higher percentage is muscle. That's the most important. Exactly.
Now let's talk about power.
Yeah.
Because I know that's something that comes with this.
Yeah.
You know, whether you do your leg presses, your box jumps, your burpees, power. How do you build that up?
Power, it comes to explosiveness. Power, it's more of explosive, whereby you can push, somebody can look at you and can't even imagine the amount of weight you're able to push. So power, you cultivate it by the kind of exercise you do. And mostly it's through explosive workouts. But as for strength, it's different. Strength, it's built on heavy weights. That's the difference. Yeah, exactly.
So ideally, those who go pumping weights, all they're building is strength.
Strength, exactly. But for athletes, for them majorly, apart from strength, is the power. Apart from strength is the power. Because it should be explosive.
Good. Now, things people should know. Let us start with this. The don'ts of fitness training, whether at personal level or any other level. Or even if you go to a gym or if you're doing it at home.
Don'ts. Let's start with do's. If you're on weight loss, start working out on an empty stomach. If it's don't eat then work out, especially if you're working out, you're on a weight loss program. Other thing, don't finish your workout, then just go home, need to stretch. Don't start your workout without warming up. Don't do a workout if you don't know how it's supposed to be done, because you can injure yourself. Posture, form is very important when it comes to working out. Exactly.
Now, the do's of all of these things. of whenever you want to do that workout? The real do's, whether it's at the gym or back home.
The most important, be consistent. Just be consistent. Because at the end of the day, is the sustainability. It's not just starting, it's make it sustainable. How you eat, how you work out, whether from the gym or from home, just make it sustainable. So try and be consistent. Whatever you do, just try and be consistent. Exactly.
Even as we speak about this, it's an interesting period. Next 2 months or so, it's going to be an interesting time, I've got to say.
Yeah.
At the moment, for those who are Anglicans and Roman Catholics, they are at Lent, which means that they are fasting.
Exactly.
And not so far from now, we're going to be getting into Ramadan.
Yes.
How does somebody go through these fitness regimes when, because you know, tumezoea kukula tu every time, and you've just told people, listen, get used to training on an empty stomach. Just help people understand this so that they pick up the right thing, especially when they're going
these
through
are two people. They are Christians and Muslims. For Muslims, they are not allowed to take water. For Christians, they can do. So I'll prefer when you're taking, when you're on fast, as you take your water, either it's spiritual or you're intermittent fasting, like you're for normal body, please add salt. I really to emphasize this. Add salt in your water. Don't just take plain water. Add salt. Because the moment you fast or the moment you starve yourself, you lose a lot of electrolytes. So the moment, it's like when you're diarrheaing. You need to take salt and sugar and everything. Exactly, ORS. So when you're fasting, start with water and salt. A little bit, just a pinch. Exactly. It will replenish your body. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to work out as intense as you usually work out, especially when you're on a fast. Just a light workout, and you're good to go. And before you fast, as you enter, please try and pace yourself. Here and also here by starting eating less. Si ati ni kesho unajua unaamka tu una fast, hapana. At least in 3 days ama 1 week, start eating less. Let your body get acclimatized to it. Let your body start adapting to that situation or circumstance you're subjecting it.
Prince Ararak, he's a fitness trainer. Thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me
here and taking us through all about fitness, what you need to know when it comes to that. Well, my name is Daniel Wahome, and it's been a pleasure being with you here as we spoke chess for the blind and the IDP African Championships, and finally, personal fitness regimes that you need to take up in the gym or at home. On behalf of the team that put this together, I want to say thank you very much, because it's now time for me to leave. And on behalf of you, the viewer, I want to say thank you. Tuko hapa kwa sababu yako. Coming up next is Kurunzi Mashinani with Gladys Mungai, followed by the interview program Tamrini. It's been a pleasure being with you. Have a good day.
Hey, you're here too? If you personally go talk to her about it, she will change her mind. Because all of this happened because you fired her.
She said she's not coming back. So what can I do?
I'm sorry, Liam. I don't want to have anything to do with Immortal, so I have to find a job as soon as possible and have some stable work so my family won't worry.
I'm taking my annual leave. I won't come to the office, but I'll send in my articles. If you need anything, call me anytime.
Tata! Hakuna gasi wako nayo hapa. Ni kukula mshahara ya bure tu. Mimi manager, nafanya gasi ya manager na bucha nioshe vyombo.
Unajua mimi hata mama yangu aliambiwa alisa akili peke yake. Kitu ninaisa mama kaya na sina kitu tisa nini hapa hivi.
Ni nini mbaya na wewe?
Niita ambulance. Niita basi mapoto. Niita paka tukutuku.
Kama ulikuwa na jirani na sisi yake, so ungetufukuza sisi tukienda tukuache na amani.
Ya.
Ni nini?
Kumbe hiki kitu ni TV tu gaki.
Inakaa hivi wewe si TV labda ikuwe.
Si unaona waka ile mesa wanasomea taarifa iko hapa ndani.
There you are, Miguel. Are you hiding from me?
He made a fool out of me. I thought he was my boyfriend, but no. He was going out with one of my friends as well, and at the same time.
What?
No. Sorry, Marisol, but it's hard for me to believe what you just said.
Well, since we're talking about the past and about that missing boy, if my calculations are correct, that boy would actually be about the same age as you are.
Ruben, I honestly don't know why we can't be friends. Just like we used to be when we were young and when we didn't used to fight a lot and we could hang out together. Ruben, I really want to be your friend.
Put your rage aside and forget the rancor. Because it will end up destroying you as a whole, darling. I beg you.
Take on Tech, a weekly program that brings you technological debates and concepts. Let us assume we have a young innovator who has come up with an app.
Financial technology and financial services is a very complex game.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news both locally and internationally. Apple has lost its position as the most valuable firm amid tech sellers. We also explore different innovations by our very own young innovators. Make sure you don't miss. Tune in every Monday at 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. And you know what this right here is?
Grapevine, baby.
The event that brought together top designers from the fashion industry was a show for student designers from Delight Fashion School who had the platform to showcase their own designs. The music industry suffered yet another